The sound of frantic barking echoed through the dimly lit hallways of Maplewood Nursing Home. The residents stirred from their routines, some clutching their walkers, others peering nervously from doorways. It wasn't unusual for a 9 to visit for security sweeps, but Officer Daniels knew something was different this time. Max, his German Shepherd partner, wasn't just alert. He was desperate. Scratching at the base of an old, faded wall near the east wing, Daniels frowned. There shouldn't be anything here, he thought. The wall had no doors, no vents, nothing but peeling wallpaper and decades of dust. Still, Max growled low, pawing harder, his nose pressed tight against the plaster. "Easy, boy," Daniels murmured, though his own heart raced. Something inside that wall was calling Max, and it was about to unravel a mystery buried for over 10 years. The call that brought Daniels and Max to the nursing home wasn't unusual. Staff had reported strange noises, whispers at night, objects moved when no one was near. Many dismissed it as the imagination of elderly residents, but the younger nurses were unsettled. Max, trained for narcotics and search operations, had been brought in to rule out the possibility of drugs being smuggled inside. But what he detected was far darker and far older. After repeated alerts, Daniels ordered a maintenance team to examine the wall. When they tapped on it, the sound was hollow. Hours later, after carefully peeling back layers of plaster, a hidden wooden door emerged, its hinges rusted, its handle sealed shut with years of neglect. When the door creaked open, a rush of stale air filled the hallway. Inside was a small room, no bigger than a closet. Dust-covered furniture sat untouched, a child's wooden rocking horse, faded photographs pinned to the wall, and boxes filled with old journals. At first glance, it looked like a forgotten storage space. But then the staff uncovered something chilling, files marked with residents' names, medical reports, and letters that had never been delivered. Many of them belonged to residents who had passed away years earlier. Tears welled in the eyes of Nurse Alvarez, one of the longest-serving staff members. "These were their letters," she whispered, "letters they wrote to their families, and they never made it." The discovery hit everyone hard. For decades, residents had written desperate notes, pleading to see children who never visited, sharing regrets, or simply asking someone to remember them. Many families thought their loved ones had forgotten them, when in truth, their words had been locked away in that hidden room. One letter, found at the very top of a stack, read, "If anyone ever finds this, tell my daughter I never stopped waiting for her." It was signed by Margaret Ellis, a resident who had passed away nearly 12 years ago. Officer Daniels clenched his jaw, fighting back the lump in his throat. He had joined the force to protect the living, but here he was, giving voice to those who had been silenced. Resistance from administration, the nursing home's management wanted the discovery kept quiet. They feared lawsuits, investigations, and damage to their reputation. Daniels was pressured to close the case, but Max's unrelenting instinct reminded him there was more truth to uncover. 2. Finding the families. Many of the residents' relatives had moved, changed numbers, or passed away themselves. The police and volunteers worked tirelessly to track down the families connected to the letters. 3. Community backlash. When word spread, locals were outraged. Protesters gathered at the gates of Maplewood, demanding justice for the forgotten voices. Staff who had once loved their work now struggled with shame, guilt, and fear. Despite the obstacles, Daniels and a team of volunteers created a project called The Lost Letters of Maplewood. Each letter was carefully documented, restored, and, whenever possible, delivered to surviving family members. One of the most heart-wrenching reunions came when a middle-aged woman named Sarah received a letter from her late mother, Margaret Ellis. Sarah had believed her mother resented her for rarely visiting, but the letter revealed the opposite. Her mother had loved her fiercely and never stopped hoping she'd come back. With tears streaming down her face, Sarah whispered, "It's like she's speaking to me from beyond." Months later, the nursing home was transformed. The secret room was turned into a memorial, lined with photographs of past residents and copies of their recovered letters. Families visited often, not out of guilt, but to honor the love and lives of those who had once felt forgotten. And at the entrance of the memorial stood a bronze statue, not of a nurse or a police officer, but of Max, the 9 who refused to let the truth remain hidden. Officer Daniels often stood there, Max sitting proudly at his side, and thought about what they had uncovered. Sometimes, Daniels said softly, A justice isn't about catching criminals, it's about giving voices back to those who were silenced. The story of Max and the hidden room spread across the nation, reminding people everywhere of the power of love, memory, and the loyalty of a dog who never gave up. No matter how much time passes, truth and love always find their way back. Sometimes all it takes is a loyal companion to uncover what was lost.